This is the largest rain engine in the world. It pumps out 2.5 trillion gallons of rain every second, dumping water on 2 billion people across Asia, Africa, and the Americas. It's called the monsoon, and it can bring life, or it can take life. In India alone, the monsoon accounts for 75% of all rainfall. Without it, the subcontinent would turn into a desert. But this year the monsoon has been misbehaving. Parts of northern India have been hit with 3 times the usual amount of rain, causing deadly floods. So what exactly is the monsoon? Why is it failing, and how do billions of people living under its path survive its fury? First, we need to look at how monsoons are born. Hot air rises from the land, carrying moisture with it. But where does that moisture come from? That's crucial. For example, in India, most of that moisture comes from the Indian Ocean, which blankets the southern part of the country. When the sun heats up the ocean, the warm water evaporates into a gas and gets carried by winds over the land. Here it condenses into clouds. Then when those clouds get saturated, they dump their moisture back on the earth. And if conditions are right, you get rain. But there's a catch. The monsoon relies on a constant flow of moisture from the oceans. And to keep that flow going, you need 2 things: heat and pressure. Heat from the sun drives the whole thing by turning liquid water into vapor, and pressure pushes the vapor over the land. In other words, the monsoon is driven by differences in pressure between land and sea, and these pressure differences are linked to temperature differences. During the day, the land heats up faster than the ocean, so by evening, there's a low-pressure area over the land and a high-pressure area over the ocean. That pressure difference drives the monsoon winds. The wind blows from high pressure to low pressure. So, by late June, these winds start picking up speed. That's when the monsoon arrives in India. It stays until September. The word monsoon actually comes from the Arabic word mansum, which means season. The monsoon isn't just about rain, it's also about wind. During the day, the land continues to heat up. So by evening, there's another low-pressure zone, and the winds reverse direction. Now the monsoon is blowing from the land to the sea. This helps clear away the clouds, allowing for even more sunshine and higher temperatures. And so the cycle starts again. Monsoons are not unique to India. They happen all over the world wherever there's a big body of water nearby. In Africa, monsoons affect countries like Kenya, Tanzania, and Mozambique. In the Americas, Central America and the Caribbean experience them too. But nowhere are the monsoons as intense as in India. Here, when the monsoon arrives, it truly feels like heaven. For centuries, Indians have welcomed the monsoon with songs and dances. There are poems and prayers dedicated to the rains. People decorate their houses with rangolis, which are colorful designs made from rice flour or powder. Homes are cleaned and whitewashed. New clothes are bought and old ones stored away. It's almost like people are trying to appease the monsoon, as if it's a god that needs to be appeased. And to some extent that's true. The monsoon provides water for crops. It replenishes rivers and fills reservoirs. It brings down temperatures. It's a time for new beginnings. Literally. Babies born during the monsoon are believed to be lucky. They're said to have silver in their mouths. You might think of monsoons as predictable, and they are in a way. Meteorologists can tell when the monsoon will arrive and how much rain to expect within a margin of error. But exactly where the rain will fall is impossible to predict. Some areas could get half the usual rainfall, others could get twice as much. And while farmers pray for normal rains, too much or too little can be deadly. Take the state of Assam in northeast India. This region depends on the rains to water its tea gardens. This year, the monsoon failed to arrive on time. The tea gardens withered and the state's economy suffered. If the monsoon doesn't arrive on time, farmers have to rely on groundwater, which isn't always enough. But if the rains arrive too early, the damage can be just as bad. Take landslides, for example. When heavy rains hit hilly areas, soil loses its stability and entire hillsides collapse. In 2023, this happened in the state of Arunachal. Around 100 people had to be rescued after a landslide destroyed their villages. Then there are floods. The Brahmaputra River in Assam is prone to flooding. Last year it overflowed, inundating vast stretches of land and displacing hundreds of thousands of people. Many lost their homes. Crops were destroyed. Livestock washed away. India is home to 1.4 billion people, most of whom depend on farming in some way or the other. When the monsoon fails, as it did in 2019 and 2020, crop failures and famines follow. The numbers are staggering. In 2019, 18.1 million hectares of land had no crops. That's almost the size of the entire state of New York in 2020. 60 million people faced severe food shortages. So how do people survive the monsoon? Surviving the monsoon is not about technology or big government schemes. It's about little things, tiny adjustments that people make to their lives. Like this farmer from Assam who told me he used to grow rice on his fields, but now he grows fish. Rice needs lots of water. Fish don't. Or this woman from Arunachal Pradesh who said she used to wear beautiful ornaments made of coral and beads, but now she wears simple rubber bangles because coral is a marine organism, and the sea around her village is becoming more acidic due to climate change, and that's not good for coral. These stories may be small, but they're powerful because they show the human cost of climate change. In India, the monsoon is worshipped as a life-giving force, yet it's changing. It's dumping more water in some places and less in others. Temperatures are rising, heat waves are lasting longer. All of this is happening because of climate change. As global temperatures rise, so do sea levels. Higher sea levels mean higher temperatures because water has a high heat capacity. So the ocean absorbs a lot of heat before its temperature rises. But once the temperature does rise, it stays that way for a long time. Hotter surface waters also mean less rain because more water evaporates, leaving less moisture for clouds to form. Basically, the engine that drives the monsoon is overheating, and as a result, rainfall patterns are changing. Regions that used to have one monsoon now have two. Some places are getting more rain, others are getting less. Some are experiencing more droughts, others more floods. So how do people cope? Well, India has an ancient system of water harvesting. Tanks and ponds were built to collect rainwater. Canals were dug to transport water from one place to another. Wells and boreholes were sunk deep into the ground. None of this was new. In fact, some of these systems date back thousands of years. What was new was the scale of the problem. Today, India has the world's largest network of canals. It also has the largest irrigation system in the world. These structures help store and distribute water throughout the year, ensuring that farmers have access to the water they need. Of course, this takes money. In the last decade, India has invested around $140 billion in irrigation and water supply, and yet there's more to do. Every year, India loses 25 billion gallons of water due to leaks and evaporation. This is equivalent to the water needs of 25 million people. Some parts of India have found innovative solutions to water loss. This village in the state of Gujarat, for example, uses a technique called drip irrigation. Water is supplied to individual plants through a network of pipes. This reduces evaporation and conserves water. The same technique is being used in desert areas to grow crops, but even these engineering marvels aren't enough to tackle the unpredictability of the monsoon. So is there any way to control the monsoon? No, there isn't. In fact, we shouldn't even try to. The monsoon is not some kind of an enemy to be defeated. It's a life-giving force that has sustained Indian civilization for millennia. The key to surviving the monsoon is understanding its moods, respecting its power, and adapting to its whims. We can build all the infrastructure we want, but we must remember that nature is the ultimate engineer. And here's a wild fact for you. Did you know that in some places, rain can be so heavy that it literally creates rivers in the sky? Yup, it's called an atmospheric river. It's funny but serious because while it can deliver much needed water, it can also lead to some serious flooding. Nature really knows how to keep us on our toes, right? Don't forget to like and subscribe and check out our other videos for more fun.